Have you ever felt that there is so much going on in the world of leadership that you don't want to get involved with it? I know some of you may be feeling that way. One leadership expert says is this way, while the other says it's best we go this other way. And you're tossed between two opinions. And this usually leaves most people confused as to what exactly leadership is about. Well, I'm here to solve that problem for you and help you understand what leadership is about so you can go about it the right way. There are about 7 tips or 7 factors which you should base your leadership on. And if you do that, you're going to get the best result ever. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that YouTube can notify you whenever I drop an interesting video just like this one. You're about to get your mind blown. And don't forget the like button also. So let's jump right in. I'm Dr. Uzoma and this is SoarUp. If you're new here, please do hit that subscribe button. Let's jump right in. So what is leadership essentially? There are several opinions about leadership, but one of the things I have learned from a great leadership guru, one of the best minds in the circle of leadership, is that nothing so conclusively proves a man's ability to lead others as what he does from day to day to lead himself. You can't effectively lead others if you do a bad job at leading yourself. Now that's the first thing I want to throw out there. Leadership is about being a pace setter. That's the first tip. Leadership is about being a pace setter. There is nothing as important to the culture of an organization as the leader, because it is the leader who sets the culture. He sets the pace for others to follow. He sets the pace. He's the one who breathes the culture. It doesn't matter what any other person does, but it is him who gives the approval, even when someone else may be bringing an indelible mark on the culture of the organization. It is usually the leader who sets the pace, who approves it eventually. So leadership is about being a pace setter. You've got to set the pace for whatever you're doing. You've got to set the pace. Others would eventually look up to you. Imagine walking into a house and asking, how is this done? And you're asking the man of the house and he says, I don't know. It means that he doesn't know his place. He doesn't know what he ought to do. But I'm telling you right now, leadership is about setting the pace. You can't be a follower when you're supposed to be a leader. You've got to know your place. And that is the first step about leadership. You know, John D. Rockefeller, the founder of Standard Oil, used to say that to succeed in life, one must strike out on new paths, not the old worn-out paths. You have to strike out on new paths, and that's what leadership is about. You eventually set the pace for others to follow. Now, I know there's a place where you have to get the opinion of the people. You have to ask for their opinion. You don't just make every decision yourself. I mean, there is the room for leaving certain decisions for lower level leaders. But eventually, it is those who have opted to lead that usually sets the pace. Number 2, leadership is about being resourceful. So many people have resources, but they lack resourcefulness. It's resourcefulness that is the game changer. Resourcefulness is comprehending the refined processes that one has to submit one's resources to, and the expectation that the end result will satisfy the deep-seated needs of the people. So imagine you have raw materials and you are in the production sector. How you go about using these raw materials to produce your end product is resourcefulness. Now, it means that you have to craft a system, a structure that maximizes these resources, these raw resources that you have, in order to produce a good, in fact, a great end product. So when there is no resourcefulness, there's so much wastage within the organization. People wasting time, wasting the company resources because the leadership is not paying attention to that. So that's number 2. You've got to know that as a leader, you are supposed to breed the culture of resourcefulness, because that's what leadership is about. If you do things without paying attention to how resources are managed within your system, you would eventually build a culture that will crumble the organization. Resourcefulness is also knowing those who would play the big role within your system. So you've got to know them. Now, tip number 3 is that leadership is about being innovative. Now, so many people can think of new ideas. I mean, ideas are not a scarce commodity, if you come to think of it. But very few people can eventually do these new things they have thought of, because it is not ingrained in most people to be leaders. As much as leadership is a culture or a thing that can be learned, not many people are willing to even learn it. In fact, not many people have the growth mindset that can encourage leading others and even leading themselves. So it's about being innovative. How much can you think up new ideas, and how much are you willing to go the extra mile to do these new ideas that you have thought of? Status quo is spellbinding. Once you remove innovation from leadership, irrespective of the level, what you have left is mediocrity. And mediocrity, as far as I'm concerned, is where fearful people pitch their tents. Without innovation, you can't build a healthy organization. So the people have to know that there is the culture of innovation. I mean, as the leader, you would have to show that yourself. Show the people that they can be innovative, they can think up their new ideas and execute them within the context of the company's visions and mission. That's how you prove to them that you are innovative. Now, let me say that again. Once innovation is taken out of leadership, irrespective of the level, what you have left is mediocrity. You must find new perspective to the same old vision of the organization and be willing to commit to it until you actualize it. It's needless to say that leaders must be visionary. Now, tip number 4. Leadership is about visibility. You must be visible as a leader. The people must see you. Any leader who believes in closed-door policy or closed-door approach will not make an effective leader, because there is so much the people need to see you and understand you for who you are. They have to see you and learn as you keep doing your thing. There's no point running a closed-door system where you are doing your work behind the bars or behind the scene and you expect the people to learn and know what you're doing. You have to be visible as a leader. And that's what leadership is about. The leader must be seen facing the orchestra but backing the crowd. He has to be the one seen doing that. You don't just tell the people to go ahead and sing, go ahead and do their work, but you're missing. So the leader must be seen working late even while others are gone. He must be seen doing an extra work, going the extra mile, and not just asking the people to do it, but seen doing it himself. That's the only way he can prove to them that he believes in the vision of the organization and is willing to commit to it. So visibility is one factor that cannot be taken away from leadership. This leads up to the next tip. Leadership is about being approachable. As a leader, you must be approachable. Leaders who run an open door policy, an open door system where anyone can approach them, usually have the most responsive followers, because the people know that he can be approached. Be the kind of leader that anyone can approach on any subject. Be the kind of leader, be the kind of man or woman that the people who are following you can approach you on any subject at all and not feel uncomfortable doing that. In fact, you would know you're leading them well when they come to you again and again with different subject matters. You don't have to literally ask, they come. And that's being approachable. Tip number 6 is that leadership is about being teachable. An important characteristic of leadership is teachability. Leaders who have growth mindset are those leaders who eventually can learn from their followers as much as they can teach them. Being a leader and having a fixed mindset does not help you essentially much, because you're trying to build a culture where the people see you as a dictator, not as a leader. While leadership is about teachability, dictatorship is about domineering. Be the kind of leader that others can teach you a thing or two and also learn from you. If people can't teach you anything, it's very unlikely that they will want to learn from you. A leader must develop a feedback loop that helps him to get constructive criticisms from the people. Without that feedback loop, he can't know what the people think about him. You know, the great teacher Jesus Christ asked his followers one day, he said, "Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, is?" He knew who he was, but he needed to know what the people were thinking about him. And that's about leadership. There's always something you can learn from others. Don't be the leader who doesn't learn from his followers. You will eventually fail. And the last point is, leadership is about being empathetic. As a leader, you must be empathetic. A leader must have the capacity to understand the viewpoints of the people, especially those who are down the rung of the leadership ladder. He must understand them. Now, as much as I am not trying to say that you have to be liberal and allow just anything to happen within the organization, but you must be empathetic also, to know when people are going through the roughest times in their life and how you can gear them up and how you can help them and how you can lead them up. That's leadership. If the people know that they can count on you, you have gained not just a follower, but a believer. Now, I had a young man who told me about his boss, how his boss didn't even acknowledge that he had lost his sibling. He had made that post in the WhatsApp group, but this boss was not even willing to acknowledge he had lost his sibling. But someone else made a post about her birthday, and this boss acknowledged it. In fact, he even sent a gift to this lady who had made a post about her birthday, but never acknowledged the young man who had lost a sibling. That doesn't show an empathetic leader. That shows a leader who is only there for you when you are all out to give him your life. But there are times when people go through the roughest times in their life, and if you're their leader, you have to be there for them. That's what leadership is about. Now, make a commitment today to be a different leader. Be a leader with a different perspective, a difference maker. Don't just be any kind of leader. Be the leader that will leave an indelible mark in the hearts of the people who have been opportuned to follow you. Now, if you're new to this channel, like I asked you the last time, please hit that subscribe button and don't fail to hit the like button also. It helps the algorithm. Till I come your way next time. Peace.